Hey everybody, this is herculespetix, founder, curator, docent, and gift shop employee of the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies. Today we're going to continue our scholarly examination of Alien Worlds. This is number 2. Alien Worlds, as we've already stated in the last episode, is the wonderful science fiction anthology written and edited by Bruce Jones in the early to mid 80s. What a way to start off an issue. We got a beautiful Dave Stevens cover. This is when Dave Stevens was just getting acclaim for The Rocketeer right around this time. So he hadn't become like the megastar yet. It was before The Rocketeer had the movie, way before that, and all of the success that it brought. But even then, he started doing covers for Eclipse Comics, Pacific, all just gorgeous. Just a master of drawing female anatomy. And I guess you could call it cheesecake art. But he also could draw anything. And he didn't just draw cheesecake. You know, he put cheesecake elements in all of his work, but it was just good all around. A little editorial from Bruce Jones. And first story is Dave Stevens featuring that character from the cover, Aurora. And we start our story. We see a bunch of weary travelers sitting around a campfire. They're on some planet in the middle of nowhere. Aurora shows up and says, "Hey, could I dance for my supper?" Look at that. Like I said, the female form. Dave Stevens just loved drawing women, and he was so good at it. You could almost feel the love. He liked looking at beautiful women, and it came out in his drawing. So she's dancing for these guys, and all of a sudden she pulls out a blaster and kills the high priest. I should mention, guys, this story is copyright 1977. Dave Stevens drew this when he was just 21 years old, years before he drew any comics for publication. I think he was inking Russ Manning on the Star Wars strip for a while. He was an assistant doing animation work. And I guess he tried out this story. I think this is probably the first comic story he ever did by himself. And I don't know what it was for. Obviously for a magazine-sized publication, because it's got this header on every page. It wasn't the right proportions of a comic book. Yeah, I'm curious to see what he drew this for. It says script by Bruce Jones, though. So I think Bruce Jones, found the story, or Dave Stevens offered it to him, and he rewrote the captions. Because I imagine, 21, Dave Stevens is a really good artist. Maybe he wasn't such a good writer. Not many 21-year-olds are. So that it appears to be that, I would imagine. So back to the story. Of course, she runs away, and they follow in hot pursuit. And luckily, her friend Unk is here in the spaceship, a spaceship. Look at Unk. I love that. He's drawn in this totally like 30s animation character style. Very cute. They take off. As they're flying across the planet, they see this weird monster chasing this guy. So she throws this kind of like knockout globe at the monster. And he falls over, but he falls right on the guy. So luckily he's not dead, so they lift up the monster and pull him out from under. And he's unconscious. So they decide to take him back to their city, where they live. So many great panels. He's a really good artist. But you can see, though, he's not quite there. Look at that. That's not a Dave Stevens face. I wouldn't guess that. He's he's only 21, but man, not many 21-year-olds draw like this. Not many 40-year-olds draw like this. So back at the city, apparently she works. She's like the kind of an assassin for the Council of Elders, the people who run the city. And they scold her, though, for bringing back that guy. There's no strangers allowed in the city. And they say, he's a spy. We found all these weapons on him. You've got to eliminate him. So she goes into his room. He's asleep. And when he wakes up, he says, "Don't tell me, let me guess. They told you I was a spy, right? They told you I was planted. So you would pick me up and take me back here." And that's Dave Stevens' face in body language. So he says, "If you really think I'm a spy, why don't you take that blaster you're hiding behind your back and kill me?" And she realizes it's just her intuition. She's like, this guy's no spy. This is bullshit. So she runs back to talk to the elders. And she hears them through the door. They don't know she's there. And they're basically saying how they're gloating about how she suspects nothing. Obviously talking about Aurora. She's been killing all of our enemies, political enemies, thinking that they're enemies of the state, like these terrible people. But when she's done, we'll be able to consolidate all the power and rule with an iron hand. So, of course, she's devastated. Her whole life has been a lie. And she doesn't like being duped. So she goes back to the dude's place and helps him escape. So they start running out to the corridor, and all these like security robots are there. These are pretty, I don't know, not well-designed robots. They don't look that cool. I think 5 years later, Dave Stevens would make much better robots. He still draws Unk so good. I love that face. So Unk shows up, blasting away. And helps them escape. So Unk gets knocked out, and the guy is helping him into the ship. And as he is trying to climb into the ship, he gets shot in the back, killed. Look at that expression. That's a great expression on Unk's face. And he's dead. So the main elder of the city is all like, I want her dead. And the robot guys are out. Look at these crappy little flying cars. They're so dumb looking. They're like something from the Jetsons. So they say something cryptic about like, well, we can't find her, but she'll be back to the city. She'll come to us. There's something she wants there. So we're left with Aurora talking about how she has to go back to the city for some reason. And Unk is just looking at her glowingly. So apparently this was the first chapter of a comic that was never finished. And I assume Bruce Jones has published it because it's Dave Stevens. He never had any continuing stories in his anthologies. And this one doesn't even continue. Oh, man. It's just amazing. 1977, he was drawing this good. Like, can you imagine if he just submitted some shit to Marvel or DC? He would have been, like, the best artist then. I mean, he would have been up there with, like, Mike Golden. You know, 1977, there weren't that many great artists left in comics. All the great artists were doing portfolios and shit because they were tired of getting paid peanuts. Oh, this is nice. Vicious Circle. Everything by Ken Steacy. Now the letters might be someone else. Oh, there's no letters in it. I forgot. It's a silent story. So we see this damaged ship, and this little ship is going to land on it and see what's going on. Such a good colorist. That's just beautiful sci-fi art. Just so good. I mean, he's a great artist, but I think he's a better colorist. He was one of the best colorists back then. And he sees a guy playing cards, and he grabs his shoulder, and his head falls right off. So he pulls his blaster. He realizes there's something not kosher on this ship. He sees everything's like a mess, like there's been some kind of struggle. He opens up this meat locker, and there's a human body, a dead human body, hanging. He types in the computer. Apparently it was a family. A mother, father, and a son. And maybe some other people. The Johnsons. I hope you're looking at this on a big screen. Just these colors are just gorgeous. And then finally, you find someone alive. It's this cute little toddler. And he picks him up. And he's all laughing. In the background, though, through the portal, the window, we can see the moon rising over the horizon. And when he looks back up, the kid's a little werewolf. It's such a cute little werewolf, but also scary. So he throws him down, shoots him a bunch of times, but it has no effect. I guess he's got no silver bullets. So he runs into this room and locks the door. The werewolf shreds right through the door. So the guy's panicking. And he goes to the control panel in the cockpit, types a few things in, and then hits the launch button. And he blows up the moon. And the kid goes back to normal. So as long as he avoids any moons on the way home, he's fine. And it's a cute little story. Oh man, this one's called, yeah, there we go. This one's called The Mind of Her Own. Once again, this was, I think, made for a magazine-sized publication. Because once again, it has this header on top. That's where the title is, one word at a time. And this is interesting because it's story and art by Bruce Jones. Bruce Jones hadn't drawn anything, I think, since the mid-'70s, maybe even early '70s. He's a great artist. But I guess he just liked writing more than drawing. Which, I mean, he's a damn good writer, too. And the narrator in this one is a little girl. And basically his father and his 3 children are traveling through space. He's an explorer, scientist. And she sees this beautiful green planet they're passing. And she says, why can't we land there? He's like, that's not the planet we're looking for. It isn't charted. And she's like, yeah, isn't that exciting? It's more fun than going to a planet someone else has been to before. He's like, no, we can't do it, honey. Look how great this art is, man. He's really good. Her older brother and her younger brother. All of a sudden, this meteorite shower comes out of nowhere. And she says, I thought they were real pretty. But Dad wasn't so enthusiastic, especially when they blew up the controls of the ship. The father's dead. So, you know, like that unreliable narrator stuff. Even though this girl doesn't say oh, I'm bad, I'm evil, I'm gonna hurt people, like a stupid comic would. When Bobby, the older brother, finds the father, and he starts basically crying and he's distraught, she thinks to herself, it was real exciting. Oh, so good, the art. So they crash land on the planet, and the first thing Bobby does is grab the father's gun. He kind of takes charge because, he's an older brother. You know how older brothers are. And she's kind of annoyed that she's not in charge. And then so this planet's kind of nasty. It's all swampy and not that nice. But then all of a sudden the land starts changing and becoming really dry and beautiful. The little brother here is just sitting on a rock, and this giant dinosaur type creature comes up behind him. And Bobby shoots the monster and saves his brother. She's thinking to herself, I could see that if I was ever going to gain control, I'd have to get that gun. So they're climbing up this cliff. And all of a sudden, it's as if an invisible hand knocks Bobby off the wall to his death. And then her little brother Chris, same thing happens. So then she kind of reveals her plan, or not a plan. I'm sorry. She shows her hand. After all the trouble I'd gone to, wishing the meteor shower and forcing the ship down here, I wasn't about to let my brother spoil my fun with a stupid gun. So she's admitting she's omnipotent somehow. Anything she thinks of comes true. So she makes the rest of the planet, the whole planet beautiful, and she turns herself into a flower princess. She's got to be careful, though, because if she even has a stray thought, sometimes it happens. She was remembering a cold winter back home on Earth, and all of a sudden it starts snowing. And she's a little girl again, so she has to concentrate. But after a few months, she starts getting bored. Maybe the clinic people were right. Maybe I wasn't ready to go home. One thing I do know, I sure miss Daddy and Bobby and Chris sometimes. Golly, I wish they'd come back. And we see the family coming out of their graves like the end of an EC horror comic. God, just impeccably drawn. It's such a shame that Bruce Jones couldn't do both. Because this is like some of the best art of the 70s. I have a feeling this is from the 70s. It's some old story Bruce Jones had. Because he wasn't drawn anymore at this point. But everything in this is beautifully drawn. It's insanely good. What a shame. But I mean, we got a lot of good scripts out of him. He wrote a lot of great stories over the years. Here's an ad for the Rocketeer. It's just getting hot. And that's it. Alien Worlds #2. Damn good issue. Hope you guys have been enjoying these. We got about, 7 more. So if you don't like them, sorry. But there's a lot of good stuff in all of them. And Bruce Jones definitely, even when he does the goofy, sometimes he can do goofy stories. They're always interesting and different than most writers would write a story. So I guess that's it. And I hope to see you here next time at the Herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies.